Newly published letters written by Forthood terrorist Nidal Hasan have revealed he has no remorse for killing 13 people in a shooting in 2009, and that he did it to save his mother's soul. Hasan, 48, made the chilling remarks in letters to a George Washington University researcher last year. They were published in the researcher's report on Thursday. In one, he answers enthusiastically, of course, when asked if he thought he was doing a good thing by committing mass murder. "I considered those who were trying to help the U.S. undermine the Taliban's attempt to establish Sharia, God's law is the supreme law of the land, and replace it with something else like a democracy that doesn't rule by God's law, the enemies of God, and thus worthy of fighting killing. I would prefer convincing them to accept Islam and be part of God's people, i.e. Muslim, but my threshold was their deployment and the fact that the Taliban were asking for help worldwide," he wrote. Share this article, share elsewhere. The researcher describes how he felt his actions would outweigh any sins his mother had committed and ensure her place in heaven. She died in 2001 after a cancer battle, but had only been devout in her religion for a few years beforehand. He feared that it was not enough, and because she also sold alcohol in the convenience store his family owned, she would be condemned. In 2001, Hasan's mother passed away following a long battle with cancer. He moved in with her to take care of her during her illness, and watching her deteriorate from disease profoundly impacted his psyche. Although Hasan was raised as primarily culturally Muslim rather than religiously devout, after her death, he began to worry about the state of her soul in the afterlife. According to one of Hasan's letters, his mother had only started to become religious in the last years of her life, and he was worried that it would not be enough to earn her a place in heaven. Hasan's parents owned a convenience store that sold alcohol, which Hasan came to believe is forbidden by Islam. The sin of selling alcohol would, in Hasan's mind, damn his mother to an eternity of burning in hell. This religious interpretation was one he believed to be entirely literal. His mother would spend an eternity burning in a pit of fire. Hasan felt that there was a way for him to help his mother and prevent her from suffering this terrible fate. Her sins, as he saw them, could be outweighed by good actions he did on her behalf. Thus, good deeds and actions as a devout, pious Muslim could gain him a sort of religious karma that could be spent on erasing his mother's earthly sins, the researcher wrote. After her death, his family began seeing a change in how interested he was in his religion, the report says. Hasan slaughtered 13 of his comrades at the Texas Army base in 2009. He was sentenced to death, but is still alive, fighting his conviction while in custody.